Morning. It is morning where I am. Got myself a cup of tea, a couple of bagels, and just thought I'd catch up with you and do part 2, which is really part 1 of where it all started. I know I've mentioned it in previous videos. Sort of how my journey with mental health started, but I thought I'd do a bit more in depth. I don't know. So yeah, also a little catch up how my week's been so far, what I've got planned and all that crap. So this week I've been off for most of it as holiday, not sick. And we went down to Dorset, went down to Weymouth just for a night, and we went to Sea Life Centre, which I've not been to since I was probably about 9, so that's quite cool to go back. And yeah, it's nice. It was nice to get away from home, and we just chilled, had a nice time, good laugh. And then we went to the Jurassic Coast.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And went to Durdle Door, and I'll put some pictures in and some video of it as well, because it was awesome. It was so fucking windy, it was unbelievable. It was so hard to walk. And it was the first time, I joke about being old. I turned 40 next year, so to me I feel like I am old, but on walking back from the cliffs down to the car park, I felt old because my knees were proper hurting. I felt like such an old man, but I'm not. Sesame seed bagels with just shitloads of butter. They're the one, man. Toasted, obviously. I'm not an animal. Excuse me. So, anyway, that was that. And it was really good. And, yeah. So this video, I'll try not to be that long. 15 minutes, hopefully. The edit some of it out. But hopefully you're starting to see a bit more about me, my personality, a bit more of my personality coming through as I get more comfortable talking in front of a camera. And yeah, so let's wind it all the way back. So previously, actually, I spoke about from like 2019 onwards with COVID, and this year. But if we go all the way back to 2009, I was working at Chesington World Adventures, which I've mentioned before, and I had been there for 9 years, worked my way up the ladder. I started part-time when I was in sixth form, didn't really know what to do with my life, and just sort of fell into it really and worked myself up the management ladder to a position where it was a rides area manager. And it was really cool, get to work at a theme park, and that was my job, which is awesome. Then in November 2009, I sort of been at risk of redundancy, and then I was made redundant in December 2009. Bear in mind, I just got married a couple months before and just moved into a new flat, which I just got a new mortgage and everything. And at the time I was like, okay, I've done 9 years, maybe it's time to move on. I knew I had the opportunity, I had an interview for the new restructured department, but I fucked up the interview, and I knew I fucked it up straight away. Literally 10 minutes in, I was like, okay, I fucked this up, let's think about what's next, Robbo. So I did. So I left December the 12th, 13th, could be 14th, doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, and then wasn't that worried, to be honest. I had redundancy money, quite a bit of redundancy money, which is nice. And then managed to find a job sort of middle of February. I was invited to an assessment centre with the airline, Virgin Atlantic. Got the job, and was working in the call centre. Not the most glamorous job, but it meant money was coming in, and it was kind of local because I lived in Red Hill at the time, and the call centre at the time was in Crawley by Gatwick Airport, so just down the road really. That was cool, earning money, and then I started to really struggle mentally. It sort of hit me that I no longer worked at Chesington, no longer see my friends daily because I would, obviously, at work, and it was just starting to hit me and struggle a little bit mentally. And then I was still in my 6 weeks training for the call centre, and I've had a little bit tough. And then, yeah, I decided in the last week of training that I'd leave, hand my notice in. It was difficult because obviously I hadn't secured another job anywhere else. And when I think back, it's a silly thing to do because it puts so much pressure on me and my then wife. And so I got sesame seeds. So it put so much pressure on us, and I guess that was probably the beginning of the end, I should say, of the marriage, all the way back then. I did eventually find another job, fucking estate agents of all places. It's just not me at all. But and I fucking hated it. I mean, there were a couple of nice people there. It was just a horrible, toxic environment, as they say these days, you know. So that really messed me up a little bit. I would be on my lunch breaks, tearing up, crying, in the sort of gardens near where I worked. Not random people's gardens, I mean like a public garden. Don't want you to think I'm just sitting in people's gardens when I'm showing them houses, crying, "You want to buy my house, mate?" So yeah, and then that's when I really noticed the difference in my mood, and it's around about the time where my wife left. She went home to her parents, and at the time I was like, what the fuck? But you know, it is what it is. And I had started recognising that I was suffering, so I eventually went to the doctors and got the ball rolling to get some help. But it took ages, to be fair. In fact, it took so long. I got my job back at Virgin Atlantic, done my training, finished my training, I should say, started working there, and then was eligible for the Employment Assistance Programme, which meant I could get the 6 free therapy sessions, which I had, and that really helped. But just going back a couple of steps before that, my doctors put me on antidepressants. This was the first time, and if you've seen my videos before and watched them, you would have seen me talking about the side effects that I had from it. And it's not just the normal side effects that you get from antidepressants. These were in addition. I was really ill from them. And I'm going to sound like I'm so dramatic and over the top here, but I actually thought, this is it. I am dying. And You may think, why would you think that? Did I OD? No, I didn't OD. I'm not an idiot. Not that anyone who does OD are idiots, because sometimes it's the only way people can see light at their tunnel. So I don't mean any of that, you know what I mean? But what I mean is, I didn't overdose. I took what I was meant to take, but I was just having a reaction to them. And when you're laying on your bathroom floor and you can't get up, and you are being sick, and you're surrounded by your own vomit, and you're shaking and you don't know what to do, it's very scary. And when you're on your own, things start running through your head, you know, like they did back then. So we're talking 2010, so what's that, 12 years ago, around about this time of year, I think. And yeah, it was a really tricky time. Yeah. So let's move on. So I was at Virgin Atlantic for 9 years. 2019, like I said in that video, I got made redundant from that role. Again, didn't mind at the time. But, you know, those things in the past is what makes me me, I guess, now. I've learned a lot. Some things I still make mistakes. I'd like to say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I do think that is true to a certain extent. I'm a different person to who I was 12 years ago, for one of which I've lost my hair. Anyway, I don't really know what I'm doing with this video. It's a bit of a ramble. I meant it's a bit of a video, I guess. But anyway, what I found helpful over the last 12, 13, 14 years is talking. And like I said before, it doesn't have to be someone, it doesn't have to be therapy, it doesn't have to be someone, a professional. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be your colleague, just someone. Just try and talk. And you may find it hard at first, but as time goes on, it will get easier, you know. Even just doing these videos, I'm finding it a little bit easier. Still a bit of a weird concept, that I am sitting in front of a camera, and I wear my hat inside. I never wear a hat inside unless I'm doing a video now. Bit weird. Anywho, and there's one constant that's been in my journey, and that is friends. I keep going on about friends and stuff, and they're so important. I've always said you don't need many friends. I have mates who I chat to every now and again, but I probably have 5 really good friends that I picked up along the way in my life, you know. I've got one from school who I've known for since 96, 97 probably, and someone else who I've known since 2003, who is just an awesome person, and then a couple who I got to know at my time at Virgin Atlantic, who are just awesome. The 2 of them, husband and wife, and then one who is more of a recent friend, not known that long, but as I said, you know, we've just clicked, and every one of them, who, regardless of knowing them for 20 years or a year or less. Each one of them are just as important to me, and I love them all. And thank you if any of you are watching. Before I get any more awkward, let's wrap it up, and I will catch you on the flip side. Keep it. I keep doing this. Anywho, thank you for stopping by, listen to me ramble. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Take care of yourselves. You're all awesome. And remember, please keep on talking. And I will catch you later. Fuck me.